What?
Is that why you recorded trying to get it down?
Yeah, I'm applying at a couple of stations.
Around here? Or there is no more around here?
I don't know, just something big, something new. Kind of outgrowing this place.
How long have you been here?
6 years.
Dang.
Yeah. Way too long. Go see. My cue.
Have you seen this billboard on Interstate 10 in Lake Charles? It criticizes Sisson for its business ties with Iran. Tonight, Sisson responds. Plus, two plans to expand the TOPS college tuition program run into a brick wall at the state capitol. And local rice farmers were told to plant early.
We're going to go to
they
Sound
find
from
their
C,
fields
come out.
swamped after the spring rain. So what does that mean to their crops? 7 News at 6 starts now.
Now, in high
Stand by two,
definition,
Key.
sponsored by Nissan of Lake Charles. This is 7 News at 6.
Go Key, my cue.
Good evening. A group dedicated
Beautiful.
to keeping nuclear weapons away from Iran has put up a billboard
out.
in
Stand by
southwest
Sound from
Louisiana
C, package
criticizing
from 1.
Sisson for its presence in Iran. Sisson
Excuse
is
me.
based in South Africa, and Teresa Schmidt reports company officials there
C.
say the billboard is wrong.
And Sound up 1.
Sasol's much anticipated
Just 2 minutes and 1
mega
second.
expansion
Standard
in
out key. We're going
Southwest
to come back
Louisiana
keyed for the
is
tag, then we'll
suddenly
go to
the
Sound from
topic of a
C.
billboard visible from I-10 at milepost 31 if you're westbound. It says,
Didn't they
before
email
you
us
build
about
here,
this
stop
billboard?
building in Iran, and demand Sasol choose between
Did we
Louisiana
talk
or
to those
Iran's
people?
terrorist regime. The billboard was put at Belden and
Good job,
Enterprise
Teresa.
by a group called UANI, which stands for United Against Nuclear Iran. Spokesman Nathan Carlton says Sasol maintains an active presence in Iran's energy sector by operating 2 chemical plants.
Sisson is involved in Iran's energy sector. It partners
Oh.
with a company that is controlled by the Iranian government. And it's irresponsible because it helps
It sounds
fund,
just like every other
the
phone
Iranian regime and
on
it
the
helps
phone
fund
interview.
the Iranian nuclear
Phoner.
program. Sisson said that they would end their
1 minute.
conflict in
Standard
Iran,
out cue. Keyed
but
for
they
the tag.
yet
Then
to
Sound
do
from
so.
C.
But a spokesman for Sasol in South Africa says the billboard is not
Okay.
accurate and that
She's
the
got
company
a
is getting
command
out
in
of
for it,
Iran and has been working through the complex process of extricating Sasol from Iran. However, Carlton says Sasol could be out by now, if not so concerned about profit.
Unfortunately, they've dragged their feet on this. They did
30
say
out.
in 2011 that they would complete an exit from Iran, but they haven't done it yet. And they've specifically said that the reason that it's taking so long is they want to extract maximum profit from the country. And we just don't think that's responsible.
Sasol says its production in Iran is not used in the development of
10
energy
seconds.
resources by Iran or for military purposes. At your service,
10.
Teresa Schmidt,
Stand by, Cynthia.
KPLC 7 News.
And my cue.
Carlton says UANI is a diverse group including Republicans, Democrats,
go
Iranian
to Sound from
Americans,
C
and former
next.
ambassadors.
Video from 2.
Sasol expects to announce the sale of its Iran investment by June.
Banners
To read
in.
the complete statement from
Semi-sound from
Sasol
C.
spokesman in South Africa, log on to KPLC-TV.com.
C.
A big moment in the future of Moss Regional
Videos up.
Hospital. State Attorney General
We're
Buddy
gonna come back to a
Caldwell
different
says
key for a
Governor
package out of
Jindal
3.
doesn't need legislative approval to turn Moss and the other LSU hospitals over to private hospitals. Right now, there's a tentative agreement for Lake Charles Memorial
Standard by on cam.
and West Calcam hospitals to take over Moss Regional.
And she's up on cam.
Education
Stand by,
was among
Sound
the big
from 3.
topics getting attention at the state legislature today, and TOPS was at the center of the debate with 2 bills being heard by a House committee. More tonight from Nick Foley in Baton Rouge.
3.
The first would make out-of-state high school students
This
who
is a
qualify
minute
for
4,
TOPS because
1
of
minute
high
out
scores eligible,
of
even if their
things.
high
The out
schools
cue will
aren't
come back keyed
recognized.
for the tag.
That quickly became a debate on the program in general, which currently allows out-of-state students to use TOPS if at least one parent is a resident of Louisiana.
Number one, how many kids who never graduated from the state of Louisiana high school
Sound.
qualify for TOPS right now? And I think the citizens of the state of Louisiana will take a look at that, and if that's a large number, they have a real big problem. The fact that kids who live here don't qualify,
30.
but kids who don't live here can.
The other bill
we'll
concerning
come back,
tops is
Keith,
written
for
by
the tag, then
Representative
we'll pan
Hunter
and
Green
center
of
up on
Baton
air.
Rouge. The bill would allow Louisiana residents who qualified for tops but graduated from out-of-state colleges to apply the funds if they chose to pursue graduate studies in a Louisiana
15.
institution.
So this gives
Of
them,
things.
this gives the children
10.
an incentive to say,
10
we
seconds.
want you back
It's
here.
out.
We want you here raising a family, contributing
5.
to the
Stand by.
economy, and being employed here, raising a family, those kind of things.
Mike Q.
The
Stand
committee
by to
did not
animate,
vote on
stand by
either
your
TOPS
pen.
proposal. Both bills were withdrawn by their sponsors, but could be brought up again
Take
during
out
the
your key.
session.
Pan.
More Louisiana public high
Very
school
nice.
students
Stand
are
by full
graduating
screen.
in 4 years.
Go full
New
screen.
numbers out today show the 4-year graduation rate up to 72.3
We'll advance our key on air.
statewide. That's up
we'll advance our
less
full
than a
screen on
percent
air.
from
Come
a
back
year
to
ago
key.
and continues a
You can have your
positive
key up.
trend that dates back to the 1990s. In southwest Louisiana, all the parishes are above the state average, with Beauregard
I don't
Parish
have a key
boasting
up
the
there. Are you
highest
gonna
4-year
animate?
graduation rate of nearly 88%. To see how individual high
Stand by
schools
to take it
fare,
out.
go to
Take it out.
KPLC-TV.com. To Capitol Hill
D is
and
clear.
Louisiana
Stand by video
senators
from 1.
split on a big gun control vote.
Video's
The
up.
Senate voted 68 to 31
10.
to move ahead.
We're
and
gonna
debate
wipe
the
with
latest
banner
gun
to
control
video out of
proposal.
2. We'll come back to
Louisiana
3 and a
Democrat
2.
Mary Landrieu voted to begin debate. Republican David
Do you have any
Vitter
more
voted
swooshes?
against it. Vitter and some other Senate Republicans were hoping to kill the bill by stopping it from coming to the floor for debate. The bill hammered out yesterday in a bipartisan deal would subject more firearms buyers to federal background checks, strengthen laws against illicit gun trafficking, and
Samoa up to
increase
2.
school safety aid.
And wiping.
What a frightening sight, a giant tornado on the ground in Mississippi today. It was spawned by the same storm system that gave us plenty
We'll
of
come back to 3
thunderstorms
and a
this
2 for
morning.
first weather.
This twister was spotted in northeast
1 in the
Mississippi, just
monitor.
west of Tuscaloosa, Alabama. It's blamed for 1 death and
Stand
lots
by
of
on cam.
damage in the area.
They're up
And
on
Wade, this
cam.
storm system is still
Stand by 1 in the
posing
monitor.
threats to folks to our east.
It absolutely is, Cynthia, and I
Go
fear
one.
we may be
One
seeing
is up.
another tornado in northern Georgia now. Let's jump to 7 Storm Vision
3 D's
HD
up.
again. This is not in southwest Louisiana, to be
We'll
clear,
come back
but
to 3 and a
you kind of
2,
see
then
the
go 2
Atlanta
centered
area
on
right
Cynthia.
here. That's all the metro area of Atlanta. This is northwest
This
of
mic
there,
sounds a little
close now to the
loud.
Cartersville area. You can see this definitely very impressive thunderstorm showing this hook echo. That is a surefire sign that is normally producing a tornado. We'll put it into motion. That is moving off to the northeast, and sadly, you can kind of see Adairsville. Remember, they had the tornado go through there a couple of months ago. Back here closer to home, though, from all the rain with this storm system when it moved through, rainfall amounts from 1 to over 4 inches in some areas, and temperatures have warmed up now,
Stand
but
by on
once the
cam.
sun sets in another hour or so, temperatures are really
They're up on
going to
cam.
fall
Stand by 2
more and more.
centered.
Cool weather tonight, but a little warm up after that. Cynthia.
All right, thanks a lot,
Here,
Wade.
2.
Best
Two's up.
efforts
Going
have
to video
failed
out
to
of
save
3.
Kiwi, one of 3 exotic birds involved in yesterday's police chase and crash in Broussard. The
Video's
zoo of
up.
Acadiana tells us the 10-year-old kike didn't make it through the night. He had been taken to an LSU veterinary hospital, but we're told there was too much head trauma and internal bleeding. A second bird is believed to have died in the crash, and another bird escaped the wreckage
by on
but has
cam.
not been recaptured. Police say the man who stole the birds from the zoo died in a fiery crash after the theft early yesterday morning.
She's up on
A meat
cam.
company based
Run a
in
video
East
out of
Baton Rouge
1.
Parish is recalling more than 20,000 pounds of roast beef products because it may be tainted with listeria. The recall is from the Manda Packing Company
We're
in
gonna go to a
Baker,
full screen.
Louisiana.
D is in. We'll
Food
come back to
contaminated with
centered.
listeria can cause illness and, in rare instances, even death.
Go full
The
screen.
potentially tainted products were packed on February
Coming back
27th.
centered.
They were shipped for distribution and to retail deli stores in
Stand by
several
to take it
states,
out.
including Louisiana. The recall includes roast beef marketed under a variety of names. For a look at the complete list, head to
Take it out.
KPLC-TV.com and look for the story.
She's up on cam. Going to
Improvements
video
worth
out of 2.
$1.5 million are underway at Christa St. Patrick Hospital in Lake Charles.
Video's up.
This morning, a dedication was held for the newly enhanced
We're gonna wipe
medical
to the bump
surgical
video
unit.
out of 3.
The
We'll do a
patient
zoom out
rooms
on
have been
1.
improved through the
You can take the
beautification
banner out when you're
project.
ready.
Upgrades include new closets and guest consoles, warmer wood window valances, and a redesigned lighting designed to enhance
Someone wipe to 3 for the
bedside
bump of the break.
care. The nurses' station has also been improved.
And wiping.
Next,
Sneak in your
local
car.
rice farmers
Stand
were
by
told
camera
to
1.
plant early, but now they find their fields swamped after the spring rains. So what does that mean to their crops?
Go 1
That story is
and
7 News
3.
at 6 continues.
2, 1. Fade. Take it. Nice block. 22, 15, 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go C. Standing by on cam. Go Key, my cue.
Research out of the LSU Ag Center shows that rice farmers who plant their crops early will end up with a
Hands,
higher
you're
yield
clear.
at harvest time.
Standby package
But
for
as
one.
Courtney Lang explains, early planting may not be as useful this year, and farmers say the weather is to blame.
1. This is a minute 50
As
standard
the
out
overcast
cue. We're going to come
skies
back
turn to
keyed for the
sunshine
tag,
and
then we'll go to
cool
3 and a
breeze,
2 for the
rice
bump.
farmer Johnny Hinskins is concerned. While the conditions aren't bad, the yields from these fields and others could be disappointing.
It's just like in limbo.
10.
It's not growing. It's not chilling. It's not doing anything because it's just too cold to do anything.
LSU Ag Center officials say 80% of the state's rice production is here in southwest Louisiana. So the uncertainty affects more than the 1,100 acres Hinskins farms.
If it continues to stay cool
10.
and the rice doesn't grow for another couple of
It's
weeks
out.
or so, then you still could see the reduction in yields.
Barrett Corville with the LSU Ag Center helps farmers like Hinskins with problems. And both men agree even the best laid plans are at the mercy of the weather when you're farming.
1 minute.
The practice of early planting usually brings higher yields and better quality rice.
Last couple of years, we've had real ideal conditions where we were able to plant. It was warm, and the rice
You're in.
got out of the ground and grew from the beginning.
And this year's cool temperatures through March and April prevent that seed from growing, which causes a number of problems
clear.
for the farmers.
So you have a lot of birds that are in the area, and that rice is sitting there on the ground and it's perfect for them.
30.
The longer it sits there and not growing, well, they eat more of it. Also, it just sits there in the field. We have a mold or a fungus that grows on the rice seed if it sits there too long in the cold weather.
By the end of the season, the early crop won't make much of a difference.
Stuff that was planted early and the stuff that's planted
15.
late are probably going to both be ready at the same time.
Rice dryers, they don't have room to dry all that rice.
10.
The machines can't get it out of the field quick enough, and then you start losing quality of the
5
rice.
seconds.
At your service
Standard
in
by.
Lake Charles, Courtney Lang, KPLC 7 News.
And my cue.
Around 90%
Somebody
of rice
cued it,
plants
3.
in Calcasieu, Jeff Davis, and Acadia are planted. Once the rain moves out, they should be finished planting within the week. And I think
3 is
Mother
up.
Nature is going to cooperate with them because all that rain is out of here.
It is,
Sneak
yeah. All
in your
those
cart,
storms have since
stand by
moved
your
well
brake.
to the east. Here's a closer view with the radar. Of
30's
course,
up.
it may take a few days to be able to dry the fields out to get into those. But yes, we are done adding more moisture to the ground for a few days. Again, I'll talk more about that thunderstorm going on near the Atlanta area. And of course, have a look at our 7-day forecast coming up after this.
Kill his mic and fade. 2.5. 15. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go see.
Now, your pinpoint
Stand by on
forecast
cam.
with Chief Meteorologist Wade Hampton.
Mikey Wade.
Well, good evening here. Before we get to our local weather, I thought we'd talk a little bit about the tropics. No, not to alarm you, nothing going
Wait,
on, but we
you're
will talk
clear.
about former Hurricane Sandy. You may remember that made landfall along the east coast of the United States last year. Of course, the second most
I don't remember
costliest
that at
tropical
all.
system to make landfall. Of course, the most costliest was Katrina back in 2005. I mentioned Sandy because today the World Meteorological Organization, who's in charge of the names, decided to retire the name Sandy off the list. Sandy will not be used again. It will be replaced by the name Sarah. Of course, the next time it'll be used is in 2018. Of course, I'm sure you know those names are on a list that get recycled every 6 years. Of course, names like Rita and Katrina also not to be used again. I posted the link on my Facebook page. You can go check that out. You can search for me, Wade Hampton, KPLC, over on Facebook. You'll find a link to the story. Back here closer to home, again, no tropical threats. Certainly good news about that. Clear and, yes, very chilly tonight.
Wade
Temperatures,
loves
once the
the
sun
lecture.
sets, dropping rapidly out of the 60s now, eventually into the
He should
40s
be
by
a
first thing in the morning.
meteorologist
But I
teacher.
promise it's going to be much warmer this weekend. In fact, near 80 degrees. Satellite view across the region. Not
Professor
much to be seen
Wade
now. All the
Hampton.
clouds have pretty much moved out of southwest Louisiana. Lots of sunshine here
prompters.
just before the sun sets. Temperatures with our weather watchers all in the 60, 64 degrees for Wanda Bailey and Sugartown. Bay Jones and Oakdale, one of the
Yeah,
cooler
Seth
readings,
has, like,
61 degrees, 67 right now
supers.
for Jackie Gerard and Moss Bluff.
Yeah,
Also, the
2
dew points are
supers.
dropping too. That means the air is drier You see a little bit more moisture with the dew points
So
in the
the sports
50s across
seems
Acadiana,
really easy.
lower 40s north of I-10. All that means for us, the area is drying out. That's going to allow temperatures tonight to drop once the sun sets with clear skies and relatively calm winds. We're looking at lows down to about 44 Oakdale, 48 here in Lake Charles, a little warmer near the coastline, 53 in Cameron, but definitely a chilly night on tap for tonight. But I promise it is going to warm up once the sun comes up tomorrow afternoon. Well, let's jump to the radar and show you what's going on. Again, nothing locally. All of our rain has come to an end, but of course watching the severe thunderstorms well off to our east, and it's going to show you across the Atlanta vicinity, but we'll definitely tell you that those storms are moving away from our area with our radar in motion. Again, locally, nothing going on here in southwest Louisiana. That certainly is some great news. Here's a look at the satellite radar across the southeastern states, and notice it's not just here, but well to our west.
1 minute.
All clear skies across the entire state of Texas. That is what we have to look forward to for the next couple of days, and it's all thanks to high pressure centered over East Texas right now. That's going to drift on to the east for us. That means the skies stay clear tonight. Calm winds, but by tomorrow this high moves to our east. Our winds turn to the south. That always means a warming trend is on the way. Again,
Always.
tonight though, quite chilly. Temperatures in the 40s. Your 7-day forecast looks like this. Look at tomorrow afternoon, a beautiful day with highs in the mid-70s. Overall, a nice
clear.
afternoon once the sun warms up and allows us to see those warmer temperatures. And
Stand
even
by
warmer
too
over the
long.
weekend. We'll be near 80 both Saturday and Sunday. But I do think by Sunday we'll begin to see at least some showers around. In fact, maybe a better chance on Sunday too. But it won't be a total washout.
It's there
so
up on
good
cam.
news there. And
Stand by
all of
one
next
centered
week
on
looks
Seth.
warm with highs in the 80s.
All right. Seth Lewis in
A's
for
Keaton.
Drew tonight, and spring football is in full force around Louisiana.
Yes, it is,
And
Cynthia.
one
As
is
LSU
up.
football is a week away
Found
from
a
its
video out of
purple and
one.
gold game, and in East football, less than 48
Video's
hours
up.
away
Stand
from
by
its
camera
spring
3.
game. We'll have an update on both teams, plus
Go
more
3.
in sports.
In 3, 2, 1, fade, take it. Very nice. I like that shot. 2-9. I can't think of a last main sports anchor that they actually cared about. Tom? Tom. 15. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go scene.
7
Standing by
Sports
on
with
cam.
Seth Lewis. Local first.
Go key, my cue.
The weeks and weeks of preparation
Beautiful.
are almost to a close for East State football, as we are only 2 days
You're
away from
clear.
the Blue and
Stand by
Gold
video
spring
from
game
1.
on Saturday.
Video's
Coach
up.
Matt Viator and his Cowboys going through their last practice before
We're
their
gonna
1
mix
p.m.
to a
tip-off
shot out
on
of
Saturday.
2.
Players putting in their final touches to impress both the coaching staff and the fans that are going to be in attendance. And for those Cowboys fans who can't wait to see what's in store for this 2013
Oh, I
team,
could wait.
expect to see depth all over the field.
2.
Actually, there are a lot of position battles, and we
It's
have
out
really
14
good competition.
seconds
A lot of
on
positions,
Saturday. We're gonna wipe
starting with
straight into
quarterback
video
and
out of 3.
going all the way to DBs. But the kids
5
are competing hard,
seconds.
and that's what we want. And I think they're excited to show what they can do on Saturday.
My cue.
LSU football also getting prepared for their spring game, which takes
We're
place
gonna mix
next
to a
Saturday.
shot out of 1
ESPN
next.
on campus today for their spring
Okay.
bus tour, and the big subject, of course, being what everyone else is interested in, how the new offense will look with new offensive coordinator Cam Cameron. While most anticipate the improvement in Zach Mettenberger's game, the new addition will also bring change to the wide receiver position, including speedy wideout Odell Beckham Jr., who, as a third-year starter, is
Semi-stop from
considered
1.
a leader amongst the unit.
1.
Definitely, you have to. It's something that
23
it's your time,
seconds to
and
them.
It's your time to
We're gonna
lead,
wipe
the
straight
young guys
into
in front of you
video
have
out
to
of
set an example
2.
for them, and it can't just be any example. It's got to be a good one. He's really working with me on most just
10 seconds.
running your route. Just stick to the script. Don't add anything extra.
5.
He wants us to be physical. He doesn't want us to, get it taken to us. He wants us to take it to them.
My cue.
A lot of the reason the LSU offense is the focal point this spring is because of all of the
We're gonna wipe
defensive
2
talent
video out of
that
3
left for the
next.
NFL draft. That includes defensive end Barkevius Mingo and safety Eric Reed, who were both recently invited to New York to be in attendance at the NFL draft. Invitees are usually only extended to players expected to be drafted in the first round. Reed is projected as a late first-round pick, and Mingo a mid-first-round pick, with a
Somehow
lot
after
of
3.
mock drafts projecting him to fall to the Saints at 15.
Wiping.
Last night, the Hornets falling to the Kings 121-110, but that wasn't the biggest loss they suffered, as first overall pick Anthony Davis went down in a lot of pain. It came back today as a knee sprain, but the
video out
Hornets
of one next.
expected to shut down the big man for the rest of the year.
Wiping.
At St. Louis High School today, 3 athletes signing their letter of intent
We'll come
to
back
play
to
college
2 and
sports.
2 for
Elijah
the
Woods
bump.
and David Pigno signing
Video out
on
of
to
2.
play football for Louisiana College in the fall, while Hunter Crochet is headed to NOLA to play for Loyola. Congratulations to all 3. And at the Masters today, Mark Lajman and Sergio Garcia take the lead with 6 under, and Tiger Woods 4 strokes back.
All right, thanks a lot, Seth. Coming up next, Wade's back with another check of the weather. And running a marathon is hard enough, but what about at the North Pole? That story is 7 News at 6 continues.
Killer Mike and Fade.
Can I smash it out of the screen, please?
2.5. Aaron, it's been requested from producer that you add a 30. I'm just letting you know so you don't yell at me. 1 in 11 Johns. 15 is about beignets. What was that fact? 10. Semi-sum from scene. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See my cue.
New on Nightcast tonight at 10, we showed you this dramatic video earlier of a tornado on the ground in Mississippi. We'll have more on what the storms left behind as they push towards the east. And we've always been told to stretch before a workout, but now some experts say maybe stretching isn't the best idea. Those stories and more tonight at 10 on Nightcast. And finally tonight, competitors from around the world gathered at the North Pole this week for the world's coolest marathon. The North Pole Marathon took place in minus 18-degree temperatures. 46 competitors from 20 countries gathered for the race on the top of the world. The bitter cold conditions were made slightly more tolerable by low winds. The winner finished the 26.2 miles in just under 3 hours and 50 minutes. I think they can
They can keep that cold weather too. It is cool here, but nothing like that. Do want to show you again the radar perspective out of the Atlanta, Georgia area. There's that severe thunderstorm that's moving northwest of Atlanta, moving on to the east, about to cross I-75. Adairsville is just north of Cartersville. Of course, you'll remember that same area who dealt with a tornado back earlier this year. No word on if there's an actual one on the ground, but for sure they've had baseball-sized hail from that storm. Thankfully, we have nothing like that in the cards for us. All of that's moving away. For us, cool tonight and then warming up quickly this weekend. Highs
they're up on cam.
Upper 70s.
Stand by full screen.
They have. That's kind of a little tornado alley. Right? I was talking to meteorologist Cedric Haynes. He's from that area. It's kind of a little tornado alley just north of Atlanta.
All right. We'll be back here tonight at 10 for Nightcast or anytime online and on your mobile device. KPLC-TV.com. Thanks for joining us and have a great evening.
Video out of 3:15 and videos up. 10. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fade, take it. Good show and whatnot. Let's do these IDs.